Right guys, welcome back. Today I've come to an abandoned flour mill and I'm excited about this one, but this one is absolutely huge. I don't know what the state is like inside, but the size of the building is just, look at it, absolutely phenomenal. I've never been to one before, so this one could be really interesting. I'm not on my own today. I'm with Matt from Amazed Abandoned on Instagram. Check him out. I'll put his link in the description box below, and over there the other one is Scott from Upper Level Productions on Instagram and on YouTube. I'll put both of their links in the description box below. There's a little pigeon there, look. Enough of the talking, let's see if we can get in. Welcome back, explorers. Today we're in an abandoned flour mill. This mill was built in 1865 and was considered to be the largest and most modern flour mill in the world, producing 25 sacks of flour an hour in 1892. Access for this mill was via the front over a beautiful cast iron bridge, but also access for railway lines and the canal with river barge access. Barges were used here right up until 1998. The mill changed hands in 1970 and stayed running until closure was announced in 2006. And the very last flour to be milled here was October of that year. At this point, that ended a 140-year period of milling on this site. So these seem to be some sort of control panels. All these are lights, but they're also buttons. All those are buttons as well as lights. I mean, they're quite stacked out. It's just full. I don't know how well you can see it, guys. You have to bear with it. It's quite dark in here. Alright, so got some sort of pulley system here. Obviously a massive gear there with teeth on, and then a gear below. Now they're in line, so I'd imagine originally they'd have been connected by a chain of some sort. There's a big crowbar there, look, and that goes all the way through. So I don't know where the chain's gone, but they're obviously not connected anymore. You've got a really old elevator there, look. That's pretty cool. There he is, the man himself. the quiet bunch. Right, so this one's got more electrics in there than others. Yeah, that's better. Oh, that's better with that off. Okay, yeah, so it's better with the head torch off, I think, guys. So that is full drive. So these are all the drive switches. There's the access point. Oh, these are quite strange because all this is steel. All this is structurally strong, but these are wooden. A really old set of wooden stairs. Which is quite strange because you never used to see wood, especially stairs. You wouldn't see wooden structures like that in industrial buildings. It just doesn't make sense. So that's quite, I know you probably can't see it that well. But it's quite strange that. It's actually surviving quite well, to be fair. Alright, so we've got the chains here, look. All the chains are hanging down. It's obviously you manually operate those flaps through those pulleys. Everyone's got a chain on. I don't know, I can't even see if that can see me. You're gonna have to, hold on, let's have a look. Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with this, guys, because I've never filmed anything this dark really before. Even the mines and stuff is a bit easier to film in this because it's more enclosed and the light bounces off the walls more. So you'll have to bear with it. It might not be the best footage, but you live and learn, so I hope you're enjoying it. Right, so I'm going to skip through these bits a bit because it's all these cylinders and tanks and containers. Pretty much every room so far. Obviously this is the main purpose of this. This was all built, you know, for these, so there's no point recording the same things. So I'm going to skip through a few of the rooms because every time I come into another room it's pretty much the same thing. It's just the equipment. Right, so this is probably the best footage I've got so far in here. Now this room's obviously clearly quite light because there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling to this bit, but you can see, look, there's a floor there, a floor there, and then the very top. So you can just get how huge this place is. Like all that there is obviously fell. Now that floor there is wooden, so that bit there, to hold up to that and not collapse, it's quite impressive really, because there's quite a lot of weight in that. So it kind of gives me confidence that the floor and that's still quite good. But yeah, that's the best light so far. Obviously this here will be the strongest part of the building. The lift shaft, always the strongest part. Fold and shut a door, pass of pliers. Yeah, so Bolton, England. Cool. So yeah, one point to note is if you're ever in a building like this and it starts to collapse, which you should never be in that position, the lift shaft is always the strongest part. Alright, so we're on the next floor now. Daylight, a bit more daylight, that's good. You can see, so all that there is a steel frame, and then it had wooden slats, wooden floorboards in. But we're a bit higher up now. We've just come to the top now. Now, this door is not in the best way, but Christ, that's a long way down. Look at that. We're quite close to the top. This is really sketchy now. Now that lift, if you remember that little lift, it's here. There's a telephone in it, look. Emergency telephone. That's only a small lift, one person. Alright, so this is the top. As you can see, there's the roof. Yeah, I'm staying over here for now. Is there more to it, or is that into the end? Right, one thing I'd probably point out here, if you're ever walking across a floor like this and you think it's a bit unsafe, always aim for the steel structure. So see that there? I know you can't see it that good on camera, but all this pipe work and those steel structures there will bolt down to the top of those underneath. They theoretically should be the safest place. So if that ever starts falling underneath you, I'd say jump on one of them. So we've literally come all out those stairs. This is the sketchy part now, but we're going to go through to the other part. So we're going to go through that corner now, see what we can find. Hopefully by the look at that there might be more light, so the video should start to improve from this point. So stick with it, and I hope it improves. Well, yeah, so you can sort of gauge our height now. We're right at the top. Right, so half the roof's missing here, look. This is all wooden, so you won't want to go across there. You can see the next floor down there, look. Obviously this is stages. Right, same with this again, guys, look. This floor doesn't feel that safe, so I'm looking at these steel structures and I'm referencing them as points of safety, if you like. But the interesting thing about these is all these tubes and cylinders. They've all got these, like, let me know what this is, but I think it's like a sight glass. Obviously it's transparent so you can see in. So you can see all the flour coming through, individual ones, maybe checking for blockages. I'm not really sure. They've joined it here with a hose as well, so that it can probably be taken off for whatever reason. But if you know exactly what they are for, unless I'm right, comment in the comments box below and let me know, because they're on every one. Every single one's got one on pretty much, and these are missing. So, but yeah, let me know. Another thing to look at as well with the floor, steel beams will always return to each other. So if you've got a central point like that, see that? Steel, that's steel. And then these might be wood or thin concrete in between, but these are, those centre parts there will be really strong. So that's just a point to note. We're going down. Right, so we've come down out of that room now. There's nothing there. I'll come into here, but another safety point. This here, look, see how it's started to be bagged up? That's obviously asbestos. So if you come to anything like this, you should have your torch on, breathing mask, gloves, because all the fibres and everything off this, it doesn't necessarily have to be cut up to be harmful. Just the dust that sits on it, and that can be bad for you. So stay away anything like this. Looks like that. Asbestos, that's bad stuff. So don't touch it. And if you get it on your hands, get your bottle of water out and swirl your hands off. Right, so you can see, you can gauge the height there again. Look, guys, right at the top. Now you can see there's a ladder cut off. But there's actually like power points there, which is quite interesting. So people obviously would have had to go up there for something before. But you can see all this is collapsed, look. And it's all piled up there, so you know that could potentially keep going and going. So you have to be careful not to disturb things like that, because sometimes they can be hanging on by a thread, if you like. And if you do, then it can create like a bit of a major collapsing. So just monitor that. A lot of this video is going to be like, I don't mean to be doing it, but a lot of the video might be safety points, but I like to explain or bring up points as I come across them, because I think that if one person benefits from it and a young lad or someone going to explore has a bit more of a better look of the situation because of like a point that's been raised, then my job's done. So bear with them, and we'll keep going. Alright, so the ceiling's missing here. Actually, the ceiling's quite mad. Looks like an arch. It's quite like, so it's plaster lined. Look, it's like an arch. But that's obviously all rotten because of it. It's all fell over. But look at the view. Alright, so back into familiar sights. It's all more ducty and tubing. Maybe ventilation. That's quite big, that. So maybe this is some ventilation or something for it. I'm not too sure. But it's big stuff. But this bit's quite rotten through here. You can see all the floors bulging up. Look. And that's wooden strips on it that's bulged up like that. Just strange. I've never seen that. We got, that's the elevator shaft. We've got a few chairs in here, a desk. I wouldn't have said this is an office area, but I definitely said it was something like maybe a staff room, or maybe not even that. Sneak peek of what's to come. Come down, same again in there. And then these must be offices then for each floor, so sort of an admin area for paperwork and stuff for each floor, like Kosh, Care Point. A few desks, filing cabinets, PowerPoints. Come to the bottom of this, but we're caged in. I've tried the access code, but it doesn't let us out. Might have something to do with that great big padlock. Right guys, I don't know where you can see me, but just thought I'd let you know. We've come all the way across the top of there and come all the way down into this side, but we're locked in. We can't get out this way, so we've got to go back all the way up across the roof and back down the other side. It's the way it goes, unfortunately. It's the way it is. All the gears, look. The chains that operate this. Obviously something's missing off there, but that's pretty cool. There's a chain there, look. Alright, so we've come across this, which is like a little conveyor belt sort of. Don't really know what it is, but it looks like, I would guess maybe something would come down there, bounce off there, and then go down here. But then that's separate. Whatever, it wouldn't be flour because it would go through the gap. Whatever it is would go up or down this. And that, look, there's a chute there. Look, that rail there's a chute. Let's see if we can. That's like a chute that goes down. Alright, so we've got a gas station here, which whatever that is. Broken glass in. There you go, 16th of November. Hold on. How can I do this? 16th of November 2000. So 18 years ago. Right, if you remember, I mentioned the little conveyor belt that side. There was another one here. which is exactly the same size, but this one runs into this, I don't know what you call that, sort of chain, but it's above one of the big tanks, but I don't know what that's for. But the interesting thing about this is, if you look at this seems to be some sort of giant sewing machine. So if you look at the control panel, there we go, that's the, there you go, spreader, sewing machine, belt conveyor alarm, column, emergency stop, but belt driven. But if you look here, it's got thread on it for the sewing machine. Now why or what is that needed for? That's mad. As normal, if someone knows what this will be used for or what it is, drop a comment in the comments box below, because that's mad, that is. What does that do? Like, what do you need to sew? And then what, it goes down there into that. So that's interesting, that is. Coming here, this looks like the main control room, a control hub. The floor's not good in here at all, but so you've got these control panels, what we saw at the beginning of the video with the switches on, with the readings on. Look, wheat feed, do not stop, 2 ton after low level, empty. Look at the size, that monitor.
Belly back TV.
Yeah, look at the size of that. Might not get it on camera, guys, but that is absolutely huge. Nokia. Alright, so we've come out now. A bit of fresh air. It's surprising how cold it was in there, because there's that much steel and that much metal in there that it's quite chilly. But we've come in, we'll have a look around the outside now, see what's about, and hopefully we won't get caught. But we've already been inside, so it's alright. There's loads of pigeons up there, look, if you can see them. But this, guys, if you look now, you can just grasp the size. Even on camera though, it doesn't really do it justice. But if you remember when we was walking across that one, and we went up to the final level, we looked out that window there, and it's huge, you know, it's just absolutely huge. That's high, that is. That's the staircase that we went all the way up. So the other side of that's the elevator shaft. What would they be called, Matt?
Silos, I think.
Looms.
Silos, yeah.
Silos. So yeah, so that will obviously store all the material. The ladders are too high up there, but you could have gone up. I probably wouldn't have anyway, but that's obviously like a service and access balcony there, look, a gantry. The gate I came down to and it's padlocked, that's right there, but just by those traffic lights. The top bit we walked across, which was open, is there just below where the pigeons are now, and we've been all in there. But look at the size of it, and it's mad. Look, they only put windows at the top. That's why it's so dark, and there's just no natural light at all. Oh yes, that's got diesel stamped on it, look.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. See, that looks like it. Turns that for some reason. So I don't know how that works, whether you was putting the amount or what, or out, I'm not really sure. So that there's obviously where you pay, maybe. So that monitors what you've had, maybe, or what's left from what's gone out. And then would this be petrol, or would it all be diesel? Might all be diesel. Same again. So this here, look, this unit, hangar, whatever you want to call it. It's full of pigeons. Must be for maintenance, look, because no vehicles to be parked in gear in garage area. So these pits, same there, no vehicles to be parked in gear. Yeah, so they're actually a lot deeper than they look, but because it's full of water, it's obviously misleading. Like, I can see the bottom, I'm not sure if you can quite get it on camera. So yeah, so there's quite a few fire extinguishers in them. So these are the service pits, so obviously the vehicles would reverse in here, and then you can do the maintenance from underneath. But it's quite empty, this. I don't know I'm not sure if someone's been stripping all these for copper or something from the wire, because one thing I've noticed about this site, which I haven't seen so much anywhere else, is all the wires seem to be cut off and like cut back up there as well, look. But I don't know what, like, if this just got left, they wouldn't have done that first, and if they've left it, why would they do it after? I don't really get that bit. I don't really get why all the wires have been stripped back, like they're everywhere. So I don't know if someone's been stripping the wires for the copper, I'm not sure. Right, the one thing I wanted to touch on with this one, guys, it looks quite in the middle of nowhere, but it's actually not. We're getting so much attention now. Like, the Abbey's only there. All this here, you can see people there, look, people there, somebody there. This is all a public footpath, but this is all the rivers there, all the buildings. This is literally in the centre of the village or town or whatever you want to call it. So this is really busy. Like, I'm surprised this is still here because it's such an eyesore, but I think they're due to knock it down because this is a big site as well, so you get a lot of development on here. So just wanted to bring that up because it looks like we're in the middle of nowhere, but we're actually, now we're outside, we're getting a lot of attention because there's a lot of people watching us. So what I'll do now is I'm going to go over, I'm going to leave the guys over there, I'm going to get the drone footage now, which obviously you'd have seen at the beginning anyway, and then we'll go. So we're pretty much done. Right, just before we end it, I'm going to put in now, I'm going to add a little clip of the drone crash. Now, I managed to survive it and it didn't actually crash, but one point I want to note is, and I'm not sure, I think it must be the metal, but I was getting my drone footage and I flew in between those metal storage containers and the building, and then all of a sudden the drone on its own just started going like that, and it hit the things. But I managed to control it, but I was literally out of control until it hit. So you'll see that. I'll put that in now. Right guys, so I'll end the video here then. Yet again, trying to keep it different, something a little bit different. Bit hard to film really being so dark, but it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.